Okay, hi. Hi. Oh gosh. Um, Today I am doing my solar return reading. This is my 45th solar return, and this is my 45th solar return reading. So I have my sigil here that I created for Malkuno fat because I am currently working with Malkuno fat. And then I have this beautiful candle that my sister Elizabeth bought me. It smells like cinnamon. I got that for my birthday, so I'm keeping it here. And I have the Dark Fairy Tale Tarot by Lo Scarabeo. Dark Fairy Tale Tarot by Lo Scarabeo. And I purchased this Demon of the Day deck because I wanted to pull a card from the Demon of the Day as an oracle to kind of express what this year, what the affirmation for this year is going to be for me. And also, I'm curious to see what demon will come up because I feel like someone wants to make themselves known to me. I don't know if it's somebody I already work with, one of the demons that I already work with, or if it's going to be one that I've never worked with before that I'm going to be interested in Googling and researching a little bit about that one, the one that comes up for me. So I have my skull cup here, and I got this cup at the dollar store during Halloween. So yes, I made myself some decaf coffee. Okay, I'm thirsty, sorry. Okay, and I have in this pouch that I bought online, it's a really cool pouch. I keep my Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck in here because usually for my solar return readings, I use my Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. But because I'm using my Dark Fairy Tale tarot deck today, I always refer back to the Rider-Waite-Smith because the Rider-Waite-Smith is how I learned. So whenever I associate a card from a deck like this, if I'm having trouble, I just think about the image in the Rider-Waite-Smith of that card that I pulled, and it kind of jogs my memory as to what the download is, what I'm supposed to be channeling, the words, stuff like that. All right, so let me just get the decks out. Can't forget any cards either because, yeah, that's happened to me before. All right, this deck is excited to talk to me. Yeah, cool. I love this Dark Fairy Tale Tarot, and I think it's interesting that I'm using it for my solar return reading. Yeah. So, get the Demon of the Day. All right, so this is a spread. Anyone else in there? This is a spread that I created. It is, oh. Okay, well this is okay. This is actually not my own spread. This is, I don't want to use them. So hi, I guess I'm not going to share my own personal solar return tarot reading on this video. This video I'm going to use, what am I going to use? Oh, I don't even have it with me. Okay, take 3. I found what I was looking for. I was looking for the Solar Return Tarot reading that I wrote for myself and that I also offer on my Etsy shop. If anybody wants to get a tarot reading, a Solar Return Tarot reading on my Etsy shop, feel free to go over there, The Jester's Magic. I'll leave the link in the description box down below. By the way, I'm Mo, welcome. And yeah, this is happening. Okay, so we got the cards. Just a second before I start to draw the cards for myself, if you're interested. Yeah. Okay. Universal Spirit of the Tarot. Please show me a card to embody my new birth year. Please and thank you. Universal Spirit of the Tarot. Please show me a card for myself that embodies my new birth year. So this new birth year that I'm currently in, my 45th year of life. What is a card to embody my new birth year? Okay, thank you. Okay, we're gonna take it as it goes. So let's see the card to embody my new birth year. It is card 0, the Fool. So appropriate for how I've been feeling lately. Being number 0, or the absence of anything, I feel like this new birth year with this Fool card, card 0 of the Major Arcana, I'm being told this isn't just a new age that I'm in, 45, but this is actually something completely different than anything I've ever seen before. Okay, thank you for that, Universal Spirit of the Tarot. Okay, Universal Spirit of the Tarot, please show me a card of support for challenges I will face this year. Okay, I got 3 cards. It happens, it happens. Let's see what they are. The 2 of Pentacles, excuse me, card number 21 of the Major Arcana, the World, and card number 19, the Sun. 2 of Pentacles, the World, and the Sun, a card of support for challenges I will face this year. So I like to see the Sun because what I see here is only for my benefit. With the Fool card being the card to embody this new year of my life, age 45, I have the Fool card, but for my support, I have the Sun. And the Sun has always been my favorite card of the tarot. I find that the Sun is the most powerful card in the tarot. And so what I see with this card for myself is that I'm being powerfully supported by Spirit, right? So yeah, the Sun, and then I have the World. So it's interesting because I have the Fool, which is the beginning, and I have card number 21, the World, which is the end of the Fool's journey. So I'm being told not to worry, that I've been through different phases and cycles in life before, and I've always succeeded and always come through victorious. And they have the 2 of Pentacles, and Pentacles have to do with earth. And the 2 is about balance. So the support here with the world, the sun, and the 2 of Pentacles is basically saying, stay grounded with the 2 of Pentacles, symbolizing Earth. Stay grounded this year. That is where you will find support in the element of Earth. And it's interesting because I've been paying more attention to working out lately. And so I would say that I'm being told to keep doing what I'm doing, that I am in a balance, and that even though it honestly feels like I'm going through a tower moment right now, the fact that I have the Sun, the most powerful card for me in the tarot, is just saying, you got this, you got this, this is the support, right? You got this, you've been through this before, just in a different, scenario. The 2 of Pentacles says, stay balanced, stay on your everyday routine, right? Keep going to the gym, keep paying attention to what you're eating, keep having I want to say a positive outlook, but keep having a realistic outlook, I guess I should say, because a lot of the times I don't feel like going to work sometimes, and it's just about being grateful that I have a job, that I have a good job, that I have a job where I can help the community, which is something that I've always had a desire to do, in my own little way. So those are the cards for me for support: the Sun, the World, and the 2 of Pentacles. Thank you, Universal Spirit of the Tarot. Okay, so Universal Spirit of the Tarot, please show me a card that symbolizes me this new birth year. Excuse me. Please show me a card that symbolizes me this new birth year. Cheers. Universal Spirit of the Tarot, please show me a card that symbolizes me this new birth year. Please show me a card that symbolizes me this new birth year. The Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, that's the wand down there. And that's the Queen's crown. A card that symbolizes me this new birth year. Part of me is just like, fuck that shit, because the Queen of Wands is the most sensual queen, she's the one that gets all the eyes. She's the one that, gets all the attention. She's the one that commands the respect, and I see the Queen of Wands, and I guess it's a good thing as a card that symbolizes me this new birth year. The Queen is powerful. I shouldn't just say, oh, she's, the sensual one, she's the attractive one, but she's also powerful. And I think her power lies in the fact that she is the queen and she has a position of leadership, and she is the one that many people look to for support, inspiration, direction. And I guess I have to learn how to embrace my Queen of Wands energy. So I guess this year this is a card to symbolize me this new birth year, the Queen of Wands. So I guess I'll be stepping more into that energy this year. Thank you, Universal Spirit of the Tarot. Okay, Universal Spirit of the Tarot, card, the 4th question, please show me a card for advice going forward. Universal Spirit of the Tarot, please show me a card for advice going forward. Universal Spirit of the Tarot, thank you. The 7 of Wands. See, this is one of those moments when I'm going to think about the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck and what that one looks like. So this is the 7 of Wands, and so the 5 of Wands is the one where it's kind of like confusion. Everyone's kind of doing their own thing. The wands are kind of, banged up against each other. And then there's somebody holding a wand up straight up as the leader. And that's the 5 of Wands in the Rider-Waite-Smith. And the 7 of Wands, I believe, is the one where there's an individual standing on top of a hill with his wand, and there's other wands coming up against him. But the interesting thing is that because there's a leader in the 5 of Wands, and because this is the 7 of Wands, I'm being told that the 7 of Wands is also about a leader. And it's about a leader who's willing to defend himself or herself. Hi, yeah, I just had to Google the 7 of Wands just to be sure. So it is, in fact, the one where there's an individual standing on top of a hill with his wand, and there are, I think, 6 wands coming up against the 7th wand. So that's the 7 of Wands. And the interesting thing is that in the Rider-Waite-Smith, the individual in the 7 of Wands doesn't have it all together, okay? Because what you'll see is that the shoes that the individual in the 7 of Wands is wearing, they are completely different from each other. So he doesn't even have the same shoes on, you know? And yet he's standing as a leader, defending his truth and defending where he stands. And this card, the 7 of Wands, is a card for advice going forward for me. So I think what I'm being told is it doesn't matter whether or not you have it all together. Remember, a card for advice going forward. It doesn't matter whether or not you have it all together. What matters is that you believe in yourself, you believe in what you've been through, you believe in your intentions, and you're willing to defend your stance. So I'm being told to do that this year. And if you know anything about me, you know that I have really been struggling with the cliff off. I mean, it's evident, you know, and I keep thinking to myself, maybe I should just leave the cliff off completely. But I have to remember the 7 of Wands for my 45th year of life, a card for advice going forward. Defend myself, just believe in myself first and foremost, you know, believe in myself, believe in what I stand for. And that's my advice. Okay, thank you, Universal Spirit of the Tarot. So Universal Spirit of the Tarot, please show me a card that symbolizes how my ancestors see me and how far I've come. I like this one. This one's fun. Universal Spirit of the Tarot, please show me a card that symbolizes how my ancestors see me and how far I've come. So when I say my ancestors, I'm talking about my beloved family that's passed on. So yeah, how do my grandma and my grandmother, my grandfather on both sides, how does my stepbrother Patrick, how do my animals, you know, how does my aunt, how do my uncles, how do they see me? And also how do they see me in light of how far I've come? Okay, we have the Queen of Pentacles. That's the Queen symbol right there, the crown. And that's the pentacle at the bottom right there. The Queen of Pentacles. And I know what, it never ceases to amaze me how my ancestors just know exactly what to say. They show me the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles, if you know anything about the Queen of Pentacles in the tarot, you do know that she is a caregiver. She takes care of the earth. And when she takes care of the earth, she takes care of the animals. She's the queen, so she takes care of people, you know. And not only does she do all that, but she has a warm heart and caring heart doing that. So my ancestors see me like the Queen of Pentacles at this time. And they also, in regards to how far I've come, it's the Queen, right? And she's the Queen of Pentacles. So the Pentacles are the element in the suit of in the earth, it represents the suit of pentacles. Pentacles represents the suit of earth. So earth actually is the slower of the energy. So wands, cups, pentacles, and swords, right? So pentacles is the one that takes the longest, and it's the Queen of Pentacles. So what they're saying is, look at how far you've come, because we see it and we want you to be aware of it, that you are 45 years old now. You've been through a lot of SHIT, and you've done it with elegance and grace, like the Queen of Pentacles, and you've done it with a caring heart, and we're proud of you. So that's what my ancestors say to me. Thank you, ancestors. All right, thank you, Universal Spirit of the Tarot. The sixth question is, Universal Spirit of the Tarot, what do I need to give myself going into this new birth year? Universal Spirit of the Tarot, what do I need to give myself going into this new birth year? What do I need to give myself going into this new birth year? And it is it's another queen. It's the Queen of Swords. What do I need to give myself going into this new birth year? The Queen is right there, the crown. I can smell that cinnamon candle. It smells so good. Thank you, Liz. The crown and the sword. It's an interesting depiction of the Queen of Swords. What do I need to give myself going into this new birth year? So the Queen of Swords is sharp. And I think what I'm being told is that I need to give myself encouragement, because the Queen of Swords is confident, and she isn't ready to back down. And remember, I was just saying, sometimes I think about just leaving the cliff off completely, getting back down to the bottom of the tree and just exiting completely instead of doing all this back and forth that I'm doing. But the Queen of Swords, what do I need to give myself going into this new birth year? I get the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords can be very cutthroat. Like, she can be very to the point, no fluff, no trying to be careful about, the person's feelings, but just basically being logical, I guess. And I think maybe that's what I need to give myself this new birth year with the Queen of Swords, just logic, like rationality of mind, and just, realizing that yes, spirituality is a very important aspect of life, but so is knowledge, so is science, so is, when I say science, I'm talking about like the results that have been observed over time with consistent environmental factors, so be logical, give myself grace to just basically say it like it is, and which is opposite to how I've been feeling lately, because lately I've kind of been feeling like I'm just supposed to be the good girl, and just play small, I guess. And with the Queen, I'm being told to give myself space, space to speak my mind with the swords, space to think what I need to think, space to read, I guess, because the swords are about, words and thoughts and conversations, so just give myself the opportunity to have conversations with people, to defend my stance on things, but with the energy of the Queen, so with the energy of composure and rationality, and not getting my emotions involved. I have the Queen of Wands, I have the Queen of Pentacles, and then I have the Queen of Swords. So there's a lot of Queen energy for me this year. So that's the Queen of Swords for what do I need to give myself going into this new birth year. And the last question I have for myself for this solar return reading, remember I offered in my Etsy, so if you want me to do the solar return reading for you, you can purchase on my Etsy, the Gestures Magic. The link is in the description box down below. So the last question, Universal Spirit of the Tarot, how can I give back to the world and those around me best during this new birth year? So I like this question at the end of the reading because it brings the reading full circle and kind of back to how can I give back to the world? So, this is basically why you consult the tarot, right? Because you want the tarot to illuminate information for you, right? When you get a tarot reading, you're hoping that you'll have some new information that will help you to feel more at peace, more at ease, more understanding of the circumstance and what you heard from the tarot reader. So the last question that I wrote into this reading, because I did write these questions, how can I give back to the world and those around me best during this new birth year? So in my 45th year, how can I give back to the world and those around me best? After all that encouragement from my ancestors and from the Universal Spirit of the Tarot, and from my own intuition, how Universal Spirit of the Tarot, how can I give back to the world and those around me best during this new birth year? I have the Knight of Wands. So that's the horse, the cavalier, and the wands down there. The picture is the Knight of Wands on his horse. How can I give back to the world and those around me best during this new birth year? So, if I have to be brutally honest, I really don't know what this means for me. The Knight of Wands. Fire kind of reminds me of the fact that I got the Queen of Wands for a card that symbolizes me this new birth year. I got the Queen of Wands, and I have the Knight of Wands for how I can give back to the world. So what I see now makes sense. What I'm saying is, because I have the Queen of Wands, which is me this new birth year, symbolizes me, and I have this card, the Knight of Wands, for how I can give back to the world and those around me best during this 45th year of my life. So don't just keep the light. Don't just keep the light that you receive from people. When you receive attention, because you are the Queen of Wands, this is me, right? If somebody is giving me attention and they find me attractive and they're curious about me and they want to know what makes me tick, and just to be more willing to step out there and use that fire to inspire others. The Knight is not afraid to be seen, and he's not afraid of conflict. But he also stands for what he believes in and those that he has been called to defend, right, in battle, the Knight. And the Knight is the one that's practiced and practiced and practiced, in order to get out there in the front lines and defend his country, his king, his queen. So don't forget where I've come from. Don't forget that it's not all about being the most beautiful belle at the ball, with the Queen of Wands. It's not about the attention that you get from other people for how beautiful they might think you are or how interesting they might think you are. But it's about saying, yes, I acknowledge that you're giving me this attention, but I also know that I'm willing to let you know that that's not what matters at the end of the day. At the end of the day, what matters is believing in yourself, believing in who you stand for, which in this case for me is Lucifer, right? So in the spiritual kingdoms, I stand for Lucifer and many others who are pagan. But in the physical world, I stand for my family, I stand for my friends, I stand for the people that I care for at the hospital. And I think that's what the Knight of Wands is willing to do. Stepping out there and risking himself. You know, maybe, you know, who knows? But the Knight of Wands is willing to take that chance for what he or she believes in. And so I think what I'm being told is the best way that I can serve those around me and give back to those around me in this 45th year of my life is by taking a risk because I believe in something, because I believe in myself at the end of the day. Yeah, it's all fine and dandy to say, oh, I believe in Lucifer, or oh, I believe in Jesus, or oh, I believe in Buddha, or, you know, great. But the Two of Pentacles, I had the Two of Pentacles with the World and the Sun for a card of support. So the Two of Pentacles is also connected to the earth in the sense that everything goes back to the earth, right? Everything will return to the earth. We are made of earth. Earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. And card number 21, that one with the Two of Pentacles for support, is also remember your mortality. That's what I'm being told to remember. My mortality, and to remember that beauty is only skin deep. And I think that's why I have the Sun card, you know, as a major arcana for this reading. I have the Sun, the World, and the Fool. And the World says there's always going to be cycles in life. The Sun says you are powerful and you got this. And the Fool says, a card to embody my new birth year, don't be afraid. Step out in belief just as the Fool does. And remember that this is not about the destination, but it's about the journey. Okay, so thank you, Universal Spirit of the Tarot. So the last card I want to pull is just like an affirmation card, but also with the name of a demon. So just gives me something. It'll give me something to. I don't usually draw from the demon deck at the end of the solar return, but I think I draw from an oracle deck. So I usually choose, if you buy a solar return reading for me, I'll probably just choose through my intuition an oracle deck as an affirmation message for you at the end. But if you prefer to have the demon of the day, if you know, go ahead and ask for that. So that's what I'm going to do for myself. I'm going to draw a demon card and see, you know, look into that demon and see kind of maybe how it's kind of exciting, right? It's like a surprise, like who actually is behind the curtain, you know? Who's behind the curtain right now, and how can they bring some more clarity to my life? And then there's also a saying on the cards, so it'll tell me a demon, but it'll also have like a little sentence for me. So Universal Spirit of the Oracle, please show me who wants to work with me. Belial, King Belial, or King Belial. I am familiar with King Belial. You must sometimes sacrifice a little, to receive a lot. You must sometimes sacrifice a little to receive a lot. There is a greater glory waiting for you. There's a greater glory waiting for you. You must sometimes sacrifice a little to receive a lot. There's a greater glory waiting for you. King Belial. So I guess I'll look up King Belial a little bit more because I do work with him, but I I don't remember. I don't even, just a second. Okay, so again, pardon me for that little intermission, but I had to, because I got King Belial. So I know that, like I said, I worked with King Belial before, and I wasn't sure. I was drawing a blank on whether or not King Belial was one of the gods and goddesses, amongst the gods and goddesses of the Qliphoth. And actually, I have my book here, but actually King Belial is one of the rulers of the Qliphoth of Gagael. Gagael is the throne of the dark god and the pylon of the masculine phallic current of the Qliphoth, the force that provides energy for creation or recreation of the universe by the initiate emerging from the womb of the Dark Mother. This realm is ruled by Beelzebub, the lord of the flies, and Adam Belial, the wicked man. So, King Belial. Sometimes I say Belial, sometimes I say Belial, but anyways. So that's interesting that I'm being called to remember that. I'm going to have to read a little bit about Gagael when I have a chance as soon as possible, just to kind of remember what I learned in Gagael, because I feel like because I drew this card from Belial as, you know, the demon for this year of my life, 45th year of my life, you must sometimes suffer a little to receive a lot. There's a greater glory waiting for you. So I think what this is saying is, so don't lose track of where you're going. You must sometimes suffer a lot. You must sometimes suffer a little to receive a lot. So there's something greater coming, you know. As much as I want to just get this whole Qliphoth thing over with at times, you know, sometimes you have to suffer a little to receive a lot. So there's something greater than what I'm experiencing now that's awaiting me, and there is a greater glory waiting for you. So you know, I think my desire to write this third manual, there's a greater glory waiting for you. So just, you know, part of the reason why I don't want to just leave the Qliphoth is because I started writing this manuscript, you know, Return from Thamael, you know, which is my basically me documenting in Word my journey back from Thamael and kind of like through the different areas of the Qliphoth and the tunnels and the spheres. And one of the reasons why I don't want to give up is because I've already written so much good content for the manuscript. And yet, you know what? I keep thinking to myself as well that it's winter here where I am, and it's normal to slow down, because part of me just feels like I just until I started reading just until I first started recording this, I felt like I was having writer's block. And I don't know if, I mean, I'm sure you must know that that's a difficult thing for people to go through, because they feel like maybe this wasn't meant to be. Maybe I wasn't meant to write this. Maybe I just made all this up, you know, stuff like that. But what I'm seeing here is I have the Fool, card 0 of the Major Arcana, as a card to embody my new birth year. So, and I just got over the writer's block, so I feel encouraged. I'm grateful for everything that I was able to receive from these cards during this 45th Solar Return reading for myself. If you found it interesting, thank you for sticking around, and I love you. And if you do want a Solar Return reading for me, you can always click on the link in the description to go to my Etsy, The Jester's Magic, and purchase one from me there. And if you know, if I have a lot of decks, so if you have a certain theme that you want me to use as tarot or oracle, I must have at least 100 decks of oracle and tarot. So I can always find something that's maybe up your alley if you're interested. If you say, oh, I'm interested in angels, or oh, I'm interested in dragons, or oh, I'm interested in jesters, or oh, I'm interested in ghosts, or pumpkins, or Halloween, or springtime, or Christmas. I mean, I got all kinds of different decks. So yeah, just shoot me a message if you do buy a reading, and let me know what kind of decks you're interested in. All right, so thank you for being here with me, and I will see you in the next reading. If it's your birthday this week, happy birthday. Bye. A card to embody my new birth year. The Fool. A card of support for challenges I will face this year. The Two of Pentacles. Card number 21 of the Major Arcana, the World. And card number 19 of the Major Arcana, the Sun. A card that symbolizes me this new birth year. The Queen of Wands. A card for advice going forward. The Seven of Wands. A card that symbolizes how my ancestors see me and how far I've come. The Queen of Pentacles. What do I need to give myself going into this new birth year? The Queen of Swords. How can I give back to the world and those around me best during this new birth year? The Knight of Swords. No, of Wands, sorry. Knight of Wands. Interesting, eh? Oh yes, because I was using the energy from the Queen of Wands to bring realism. And the demon for me of my 45th birthday year is Belial. You must sometimes sacrifice a little to receive a lot. There's a greater glory waiting for you.